Facebook Strategic Assignment by Trenton Compton, Elizabeth Deck, Peter Koska, Monty Mack, and Melissa Tavares.
Facebook's mission statement is to give people the power to build community and to bring the world closer together. They have developed 5 long-term strategic goals. First, to give the young a voice, to help and support young entrepreneurs, scientists, and leaders to be a voice for change. They also are emphasizing smaller communities and private interactions, giving their users a sense of intimacy. Facebook continues to help small businesses by providing them with the same tools that were once only available to large corporations. Facebook is also seeking to utilize virtual reality and augmented technologies as tools to help people connect no matter where they are. Facebook has an internal oversight board to help resolve content disputes. It also welcomes new governmental regulations regarding the use of privacy and user data.
External analysis. Pest analysis. Political. Countries around the world, most notably the USA, have concerns regarding the company and its questionable business practices. In more recent years, Facebook has been embroiled in an ongoing lawsuit regarding its business practices and handling of information. Economic. Facebook has done remarkably well when it comes to their financial growth. The company uses the data received from its users to target the ideal individuals for advertisements, bringing the company substantial monetary gains. Social. Facebook exists as a social media site primarily. Users can interact with each other to share their opinions and interests on the site. Technological. Technology will almost indefinitely be in a state where rapid change is the norm, which means Facebook must continuously update its service to remain relevant. With its recent sites on the metaverse, Facebook is hoping to remain ahead of the current through virtual reality. Environmental. Currently, the company has become net zero in their emissions across their global operations and is working towards the same goal with their value chain. Simultaneously, they are working to become water positive. This means they produce more water than they use to conduct business. Legal. Facebook has had its fair share of legal proceedings through the company's lifespan, ranging from the case involving the Winklevoss twins to the most recent data-related issues. Facebook is familiar with the legal process. How dynamic is the industry? The social media industry moves quickly, is highly responsive to new forms of technology, and has various competitors present. As well, competition may be heating up now with how popular virtual reality is becoming. This makes the industry highly dynamic overall.
We will continue the analysis using Porter's 5 forces model. The threat of new entrants to the market is low. Facebook is a powerhouse corporation with a wealth of user data that would be very difficult for a new entrant to duplicate. A new entrant could provide a challenge to Facebook if they can provide a service that Facebook does not. The threat of substitute products is high. Social media platforms are expanding and changing, and they have the potential to take users away. Bargaining power of buyers is high. There is no contract or penalty for changing social media platforms. The bargaining power of suppliers is low. Facebook does not have any true suppliers for their business. Competitive rivalry within the industry is high. Social media itself relies on gaining users while starving competition of their resources.
SWOT analysis. Strengths. Facebook has presence on a global scale. As the site can be visited by users around the earth, barred only by internet access. The site has an enormous user base with active users totaling in the billions. Advertisers love the site's algorithm because it allows them to target specific users with more customized ads. Weaknesses: a history of misuse and illegal gathering of data, as in the case of the Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal. Illegal or questionable activity on the site, even with prior legal warnings. Low diversification and revenue streams, as most of the company's profits are a result of advertisement alone. Opportunities: the pandemic has forced many online for social interaction due to safety concerns and personal reasons. Virtual reality's recent popularity spike is leading the way for Facebook's Metaverse edition. Greater accumulation of funds in the home due to a lack of expenditures from travel, restaurant, and other social venues. Threats: younger generations view Facebook as a site for older users, which leads them to competitors like Twitter and TikTok. Laws are being updated for social media sites as countries become more literate and accustomed to these businesses. New entrants to the field of social media have the potential to overthrow Facebook if they can gain a sizable user base. Facebook has two core competencies: a direct advertisement system and a massive user base. Their advertisement system is how they repeatedly earn their profits, as they are able to pinpoint the right ads for the right users. With how massive the amount of users they have, totaling in the billions, they are able to retain their status quite well.
Facebook has strong competitive advantages. First is a large customer base that has remained loyal to Facebook in the face of such competitors as Twitter and TikTok. Very few users completely leave Facebook in favor of the competition. Second is an advertising platform that is favored by many companies, especially small companies, and used to advertise their products and services. This is where a majority of Facebook revenues come from. Other social media platforms have had to play catch-up as a result. Facebook's advertising revenue has increased 22% in 2020 as compared to 2019, and the number of ads increased by 34%. Facebook has developed a highly successful mobile app. Smartphone users use their devices on average between 4 and 5 hours a day, with 3 applications accounting for 80% of that use. The Facebook app is the most popular of those 3.
Business strategy. Facebook Inc. utilizes the cost leadership strategy as they seek competitive advantage through minimizing the costs of doing business. Minimizing costs leads to better pricing, greater efficiency, and a favorable position in the market on a global scale. The pros to this strategy include Facebook's ability to create new forms of technology which competitors have not provided, and the ability to reduce the price of products and services for better competitive advantage. Recently, Facebook launched a virtual reality service to bolster their current social networking applications. The biggest con to Facebook's business strategy is the possibility that other companies could develop their social networking skills to compete with Facebook. With how imitable the services and products Facebook provides are, they leave themselves vulnerable to the competition of substitution products, resulting in the loss of competitive advantage. To improve their business strategy, Facebook should focus on growing their membership and satisfy strategic objectives.
Global strategy. Facebook uses an international business strategy. They seek to make commercial transactions with customers in an international market, keeping the company relevant and profitable on a worldwide scale. Facebook recently met with opposition as it tried to expand into a country of primary focus, India. India blocked Facebook's Free Basics project as it violated the concept of net neutrality within the country. The Free Basics Project would have allowed citizens within India to have access to free internet, as well as access to Facebook. This would have been a lucrative market for Facebook expansion. Other countries have noted concerns regarding Facebook's data collection processes. Facebook will need to build its reputation and trust within these countries in order to access the great potential in winning over more international customers. Slowing down certain aspects of social networking on their site may be key to winning over these customers.
Social responsibility. Facebook has identified 3 areas that it considers priorities for environmental, social, and governance topics: transparent and ethical business practices, data privacy and consumer trust, and the social impact of products and services. The remainder of the presentation will focus on an analysis of these priorities and how Facebook provides a good working environment for its employees while encouraging and fostering a more diverse workforce.
Working conditions and diversity. During the pandemic, Facebook employees were allowed to work from home. Now a hybrid workplace, a combination of in-office and at-home options, has been developed. This expanding flexibility works to support the health of Facebook employees and their families. Facebook's benefit package goes beyond health and dental insurance to help employees stay healthy in all areas of life. Despite this, content moderators have complained about poor working conditions that impact their mental health. Facebook strives to reflect the world through its diverse workforce. It addresses bias in the workplace and recruits from underserved communities. An example of its recruitment programs is the Pathway program that provides 1-year internships to students. Facebook also partners with nonprofit community groups.
Sustainability. Sustainability goals are embedded in Facebook's culture, with employees, management, and the board consistently kept up to date regarding climate risks and the risk and opportunities of sustainability measures. Facebook has set a goal of net zero emissions across their entire value chain by 2030 and achieved net zero emissions in their operations last year, 2020. Planning for sustainability involves all levels of the company and their stakeholders, which includes their supply chain, product development, data centers, and workplaces. They also have a global presence in supporting actions to combat climate change. Decisions are part of their operational strategy at all levels.
Transparent and ethical business. Facebook has developed community standards, but does not seem to be applying them fairly to everyone. A program called XCheck allows objectionable content to stand if the user has a large enough following. Facebook conducted research into how photos posted to Instagram might impact the mental health of teens regarding their body image. They found a correlation between using Instagram and an increase in anxiety and depression. Knowing this, Facebook continued developing an app aimed towards preteens. Executive compensation is based on engagement levels, which impact business decisions.
Societal impact. Facebook's products have resulted in many societal impacts. Their difficult to enforce content rules and use of algorithms to increase engagement have allowed controversial content to flourish on the service. Misinformation campaigns around elections and major societal issues have led to calls for governmental intervention and regulation of Facebook. In testimony before Congress, Frances Haugen, a former manager at Facebook, said that Facebook faces great difficulty in regulating their own services and focus on engagement. Growing their user base is to blame for the company being unable to fairly apply their established content standards. This has led to a net negative impact to society.